Scared about going into a new tournament this weekend and not knowing the new rules? Oh boy, do we got a video for you.
Yep, we got Pariah Nexus coming out in 2 weeks.
Welcome back, Legionnaires. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to talk about Pariah Nexus and the new stuff going on.
Oh yeah, we got a whole bunch of exciting stuff with the new mission pack. There's all kinds of new changes I just talked about in the new Meta Watch video. A lot of it is very exciting. And we have 2 weeks before it comes out. And you and I have like a bunch of stuff right after that.
We're going to a GT this weekend. And then next weekend, we have our RTT here at this store. If you guys are in the Florida area, we are going to, sneak peek, we're going to be doing a grand tournament in November. So keep your eye on that. We'll definitely have a bunch of stuff going on, and we are actually working with Games Workshop directly to hopefully support some of that too.
Yep, I'm super excited about all of that.
I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you're in Port St. Lucie, definitely come check us out. Or if you just live in Florida and want to come by and check out the shop, definitely come by.
Yep, we've got a great place. Yep. Without any further ado, we're going to talk about some of the changes they made or are going to be making. The first one is regarding actions. So if you're familiar with how actions have been done up until 10th through 10th edition, they've been kind of vague. Like they're a little weird. Like you refer to them as actions, but they're not technically actions. They're just like secondaries that require you to do something. So they're not quite an action. And there's all these weird corner cases about what can and can't do something. So what they're doing here is they're trying to clarify what works and what doesn't. So the first thing that they're doing is they're making it so that OC0 units can no longer do actions.
Are you a Tyranid player? Do you love your Biovore? Well, boy, you're ready to get shit on today because guess what? Yep. No more zero action, people.
I think that another big thing with that is Nurglings. So all chaos, like that was one of the corner pieces of a lot of chaos armies was Nurglings able to do actions. Now they can't.
But you still got War Dogs.
Yeah, well. Pistols no longer grant you the ability to do actions. So you used to be able to, if you were on an objective, and let's say you had cleanse as an objective, right?
And you could be engaged for shooting.
Right. You just have to have a pistol. Okay. Like if you have a pistol and you're eligible to shoot.
Eligible to shoot, yes.
Right. You could do an action on an objective even when you were engaged.
Right. Because technically you could shoot.
Exactly. So that's kind of like a weird kind of corner case. That's axed. Can't do that anymore. Anything just because you have a pistol doesn't mean you can do an action. If you're engaged, no more actions.
I actually like that because it makes the game a lot more thinky, right?
Right. That's a huge one. The other thing is that units that have advanced can no longer do actions.
Ooh, thank God.
Yeah.
Assault armies that rely on that shit, gone.
Right. So no more Firestorm Space Marines, no more Mon Tau, no more the new Sisters detachment, no more CSM. All of those things that had assault on their entire armies, it's not a big benefit anymore.
We like that.
Another big, going back to what I said about the pistols, a lot of people on their army, when they were building units in their army, they would include like one model that had a pistol, just to say, hey, I can do an action. You don't got to do that anymore.
Oh, especially with characters.
Right.
If you've got a squad and you've got the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually make a decision now instead of forcing yourself to bring a pistol, which is great.
Gotcha.
The last thing with that is that Titanic models, so like your Giant Knights, your Monolith, whatever. They can still shoot and do an action. So specifically Titanic models can do actions and shoot at the same time. Because typically you have to forego shooting and charging in order to do an action, but they're giving those 400-point models the ability to still be relevant and do an action. Because it feels bad to do an action with a 400-point model, let me tell you. My computer just died.
We don't need it.
Anyway, so...
I wouldn't know how it is to bring a 400-point model to the table because Eldar don't bring a 400-point model.
Buddy, can I please introduce you to the Wraith Knight?
The thing that doesn't get played?
Yeah, I mean, it used to.
I mean, come on.
Eldar do some, they did, at least not anymore. But, so that was, the OC change is a big thing with actions. The next big change that they're doing is they're changing the way deployment zones are working. So they decided to keep some of the fan favorites. You still have your Dawn of War, you still have your, those typical ones, but they're getting rid of the diagonal ones. So the ones that cut through terrain and stuff like that, they're doing away with them. And the way they're doing it instead is they're doing like staggered boxes.
It reminds me a lot of Age of Sigmar deployment, where it's like 1 square, 1 square, 1 square.
Right.
Which is really cool, in my opinion. It allows for a lot of different thinking instead of just that weird, wonky. Are they getting rid of ritual?
We don't know. We don't know. I mean, I would hope.
Everybody wants that shit gone.
Yeah, there's some that people hate. You know, people don't like servo skulls. People don't like the ritual. Like those two, I would hope they're gone.
The ritual sucks.
I will tell you this though. This is another interesting tidbit. They're getting rid of Chilling Reign.
It did nothing.
That's the point.
Right.
But that's like that was the stock thing at tournaments was Chilling Reign. Right.
Now you got to read it. Now you got to read it.
Now there's going to be something that happens. So we'll see.
Shit. Okay.
So that's interesting.
So less actions, but more actions, kind of.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with the actual primaries on this one because there's still a lot of room to do fun stuff. You know. I just hope it isn't like the ritual or servo skulls.
I don't think anybody wants the ritual. I know I was in a game against Imperial Guard, and it was like 2 shooting armies just crapping out objectives.
So what they said in the video was that they're trying to make the objectives more balanced so that one army that just happened to build one way has this huge advantage. You know, so they're trying to do away with that. They want it to be more even, you know, if that makes sense.
Well, you have right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my interpretation of it is you have one army that sometimes going first is actually better because you're moving up to the no man's land, you're holding those points, you have these tough units, and it's like, come and get me or get fucking pinched into your deployment zone.
The next big thing that they said they're going to do is they're dropping with their words, they're dropping a giant FAQ along with this balanced data slate. So
terrifying.
That is terrifying. It's, you know, it could be, and it's not just an FAQ for the game, it's an FAQ for every army. They said they're dropping rules for everything.
You know what that means.
So
Canoptic Court's coming to get smacked.
Oh, I hope not. Anyway, so that's a big deal. And along with that, they also said that they are, I guess they must have hired somebody, because they are doing FAQs more frequently. So they're no longer waiting for every balanced data slate every 6 months. They're going to do them, I guess they're going to have like a community thing where you can post a question, and they'll put those FAQs online as they get them.
GW interacting with their community?
Yeah, I know, it's wild.
Fucking crazy.
That's a huge step forward.
Thank you, keep doing
it.
Yes,
I know. Every year, GW does something else that I'm like, oh man, they're finally learning. This is so great. And then they do something like price hikes where I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. We had a video on that. You should go check it out in a link up here.
Yeah, wherever. this right here. The FAQ thing is big. The last thing that they talked about is apparently there's going to be a huge rules overhaul for AdMech. So
don't like that.
No, I do, because AdMech has been struggling in 10th edition.
But here's the thing with AdMech. They're either bottom or top.
Yes, they're like custodies. They're like they're either really good or they're really bad. But I mean, I hope they can find a way to make them like at least a comfortable army to play.
They need to be playable.
Yeah.
I think them and NIDS need some massive love, but let's see what they do.
Yep.
And guys, as always, check us out. Check our other videos out. What we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. Let us know what you think of the new...
oh yeah, this new data slate. I'm excited.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the new data slate, and we'll kind of go from there. And thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
As always, we'll see you again next time.
See you next time, guys.